seen something which later became, that I figured out was a Yowie walk out of the grass. Now the grass on the side of the road, it turned to walk down the middle of the white line, middle of the road, following me, straight at me. As I was slowing down, it was walking towards me. For every move I made, it mirrored me to the point where I'd come to an almost dead stop on the side of the road. I was probably 5 metres from it.
This is the Cryptid Creatures Podcast. I am Brian, and with me as always, right over there is my co-host Todd. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Brian. We've got a Yowie encounter coming on tonight.
Yowie.
We've been looking for one of these, an Australian Bigfoot, so we finally got.
So we've talked to a few Australian people, but we haven't ever got them on the show. Now we finally got one, and from what I understand, it's pretty good encounter.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Wade on, and Wade is gonna talk about his encounter with the Bigfoot or the Yowie in Australia. So I'm really excited to hear this and see what's going on over there.
I've been really fascinated with Australia for quite a while because of the stuff that goes on down there. So I'm happy we got him on finally.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's not waste any more time.
Right on, let's get him.
Hey, Wade.
I can hear you, mate.
How's it going over there in Australia?
It's a bit hot over here at the moment.
We want to thank you for taking time. I know we're on a big time difference over there and speaking with us.
Yeah. Is it tomorrow over there already? Is it Saturday there?
It is, yes.
It's kind of crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, we were talking online, and a friend of yours had kind of got us together and said that you had some Yowie encounters over there. So the Yowie is obviously the Bigfoot version in Australia. How old were you when this happened? This first one happened?
It was about 20 years ago now, coming up on 20 years ago now. So it'd be 25 roughly. When the encounter originally happened, I was on night shift, and I'd just been home a couple of hours, and my workplace said that they were having problems with the machinery, and can I come back in? And I said, you're okay, give me half an hour, because it takes me half an hour, 40 minutes back then to drive into work. And I jumped in my ute and took off, or pickup as you would call it over there, and I had gone maybe 5-8 k's down the road, and from my home, and come over what we call a sand hill at the time where I was living, and I seen what sort of then was very hard to make out at the distance, but I seen something which later became, that I figured out was a Yowie walk out of the grass. Now the grass on the side of the road was about 6 foot high, and it walked out onto the road without a care in the world. And I was probably 500 metres away with the driving lights on my ute going, and I could see this thing walk out, and it got to the centre of the road where the broken white lines are. And it turned as my light started to illuminate more, and I was getting closer, I was slowing down, and it turned to face me, and whether it had deemed me some sort of a threat or what, I don't know, but it turned to walk down the middle of the white line, the middle of the road, following me, straight at me. As I was slowing down, it was walking towards me. And by this time I was already down and moving off to the side of the road, to our right-hand side. And for every move I made, it mirrored me, following me, to the point where I'd come to an almost dead stop on the other side, on the side of the road, on the other side, and I was probably 5 metres from it, and I could get a good look at it.
What time of day was it?
This was early hours in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. It could have very easily done a lot of damage in a very short period of time. And for some reason, I just sat there, I looked at it, and I was a bit dumbfounded as what I was actually seeing. And it looked at me for, I don't know, probably maybe 10, 15 seconds, and then it just turned without a care in the world and walked back off the road.
Can you describe what it looked like in the face? Or all over, for that matter?
It was a brownish sort of a colour, but it had like a silvery tinge because it was a very bright. I shouldn't say very bright, but it wasn't a full moon, but it was reasonably well lit, and what looked to me like a silvery tinge to it. Because the owls here are brown, but I have heard of other variant in the colour, and this one looked like it was.
Right.
And I'd spoken to a few people, and they said it could have been an alpha. Whether that's right, I don't know. But it didn't have extremely long hair. Around its head was sort of just about here. The hair around its that facial area. The facial features were almost human-like. And it was extremely well built for muscle. It was about maybe 7.5 foot, but the ute that I was sitting in was very low to the ground. So it was, I'm only guessing at the exact height of it. It could have been a lot taller than that.
Okay.
So what were you thinking when this thing started coming towards you? I mean, obviously you were scared to death, I'm sure.
When I first seen it, I thought, someone playing games. Back in that day, a lot of kids would just, out camping, and they'd walk across the road and wouldn't care. And I thought, well, someone doing this. But when it turned and was walking straight towards me, I wondered what it was, someone either being extremely stupid or whatnot. And as I got closer, then it started to dawn on me what it possibly was. And yeah, I was a bit, after it had walked off the road and went back back into the grass area, or not into that where it had come from, but on the other side. And I actually give it about probably 30 seconds, and I got out of the car on my ute and seen if I could see where it had gone or anything. And I could clearly hear it walking through the grass and the scrub. And I just sort of bit gobsmacked, to say the least. And I just got in my vehicle and continued on to work, and because I still had to go. And while I was at work, I just seen, my mind certainly wasn't on the job at hand.
Did you say anything to anybody at work?
No, I didn't tell anyone. They knew something was wrong, that I'd seen something, but I didn't tell them. Right. And the only person I'd told was my mother at the time, and I kept it secret. I'd told only one other family member, and then a few years back, I reconnected with family, which is Rick, as Todd knows, and I told him about it. And I explained to him what I'd seen, and he told me that he's had encounters, not like I've had, but some encounters. And yeah, we've been friends ever since childhood, and it's when we reconnected that I actually explained to him what had happened. And yeah, okay. He was a bit smacked as well at the time.
What part of Australia was that in?
From where I'm living now, it's literally half an hour away. It's in New South Wales.
What's the terrain like where you saw this thing at? Is it woody? Is it?
Trees around. Back then there was a lot more trees than what there is now. And a lot of tall grass. We get a lot of weeds here that are thorny and that. And in this area, there was a lot of tall grass. Because the council doesn't mow it regularly, and it just grows. It can get up to 8 feet tall, this stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, very wiry, and it's where he'd come from was probably about 500, maybe a K away from the edge of the road was a river. So whether he's been somewhere down that way, I don't know, but yeah, it's just, it was a bit of a shock that night.
Did you believe in Yowies before, or know or think about them before this happened?
I'd heard of stories when I was younger about them. I'd never really believed in them as such. Until that day, I'd always heard people talk about them and, read stories of them, and I'd never encountered them until that encounter, and I was never really a believer in them. I'd always believed that the old time stories had some truth to them, but never really believed in them until that encounter. And it's just sort of snowballed since there over the last, before COVID hit actually, I've seen other things. And while COVID was on over here, I've had other encounters along with Rick, who was with me on occasion as well.
Let's hear about those.
Yeah.
There was one, I used to do a paper run delivery. So I'd drive down to Sydney on Saturday my time. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd leave and I'd drive to Sydney, and we'd load up the truck and we'd come back. And our first delivery would be the Daily Telegraph paper here, and it'd be 2 hours from Sydney would be our first drop. And then about 20 minutes later would be the second one. And while we were delivering at the second one, I hopped back in the truck and I had the driving lights on. And directly as we come to the intersection, there was a building sort of off on the other side of the road at the T intersection. And the driving lights on the truck are extremely high powered and long range. So the range of what this building was from us, it was like daylight. And there's this, for better of a lack of a term, a cloaked figure or druid or whatever you want to call it. And it's standing in front of the building, and it's not casting a shadow with the lights. It doesn't at any point raise its hand or anything to shield the light around its face or anything. We couldn't see its face, but not once did it do anything like that, and it didn't cast a shadow. And Rick was sitting beside me, and he looked at me and he said, "Have you seen this? Is this real?" And yeah, we both seen it at the same time. And we're a bit dumbfounded.
How big was it, this cloaked figure?
Probably at that range, I'm guessing it would have been at least 6 to 7 feet. At that range we were from it. Could have been higher in height, I'm just not sure. And it wasn't until later on, a few months later, that I was looking into the location, and I'd learned that about 35 people lost their lives on this location.
Oh,
wow. Due to some act. I don't know exactly what.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you think this was some kind of entity, not a creature?
No, this wouldn't have. It may have been a creature, but I don't think so. I think it was more of an entity than anything, because on another later date, not far from that location, Rick was with me, and we were driving out past that location, and we're probably about 100, maybe 200 metres away, and we've seen a dark shadow mist sort of thing go across the road right in front of us, even though the driving lights are fully ablaze, and it's just like a black wall go right across the road in front of us. And it was heading in the direction onto the back part of that property. There was one that I had before he was had a couple of weeks off from going with me, and I went past a section of road. There was you come around the bend in the road, and there's like a rock wall cliff on the edge of the road, and there was a fallen tree hanging off the top, touching the ground. And I thought of it at the time. When I got home, then I happened to have because when I went past that area, I felt I'd smelt the smell of the Yowie, but it never dawned on me because I was too busy driving. And when I got home and I was asleep, I had a better lack of a term, a vision, I suppose you put it, and exactly where he was standing, and he was watching me go past in the truck. And I next weekend, Rick come with me, and we went past on the same spot on the road where I'd seen him in the vision, and Rick was sound asleep in the truck beside me, and he woke up out of a dead sleep and, excuse the language, get the fuck out of my head. That was his words. And I said to him, did you see him on top of the wall? And he said, yes. And he turned, when he looked at me, and he said, you seen that before? I said, yes, I have. And yeah, he's, many a time we go past there, he was wary of it. And he's actually had, apparently had visits from this Yowie in the most recent as well.
Wow.
I think I'd stay away from that area if I was you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been back, not past that exact point, but I've been close to there when I've taken family down to see relatives in Sydney. And every time I go past it, he knows I'm where I am. I don't know. There's some sort of mental connection. I don't know, but yeah, he knows
Maybe
nearby.
Wow.
I didn't really look at the map before we talked, but is there a lot of Australia is it pretty much where I'm looking at here? I mean, is it pretty much all over where people see in Yowies and things like this?
Yes. There is a book that was published a while ago now, and it has all the accounts of the Yowie dating back to a long time ago. Some of them were back in the 1800s, as far as I can tell. There's some around Sydney. There was one that's actually documented in the book. He literally come face to face with it in a chased his dog out. He was rabbit hunting, and he went to get his dog, and he stuck his head in the bush apparently, and he's looking straight at it, come face to face.
Wow.
Well, you've definitely got a lot of terrain there. I mean, to house something like that. I mean, looking at it now.
Yeah. I know the Blue Mountains are quite prone to them up there, from what I've heard. But out this way, there has been a lot of sightings, not in the recent time out here, but there's been a lot around where I had one of the sightings was that particular one near the fallen tree is Rylstone, Candos area, in that area there. And it's extremely hilly and a lot of trees in that area.
Yeah, I see that, the map. There's a lot of hilly and wooded areas kind of scattered all around here.
It is extremely, some areas, and like when you get in around Dubbo itself, it's hilly on the outskirts, but it's more flat. It's when you start getting around Mudgee Way over in that area, which is about an hour and a half from here, then that's where the hills start to pick up from there. And there has been a lot of sightings over around Mudgee and onward in from there. So the one I had was about half an hour where it's more flat. There is a few hills there, but it's more open country, what it is now. When I also did papers to Tamworth as part of the job going to Sydney, I used to go up to Tamworth via back road, and I was going up there one night, and I was coming back. I was in a Mercedes Sprinter van we were running at the time, or not the actual Mercedes Sprinter, but it's the lesser known version of it. And coming back, I was just on my own, and as a result, I run dash cams now. I don't go without them. And this one night, I come around the bend in the road. I wasn't going overly quick. I'm doing about 80 k's an hour. So just come off a railway crossing, going around the bend, and I know a fox come flying out of the grass, and then this thing come flying out after it. I was chasing it, and it was 3 foot high, I suppose, to its shoulders, whitish sort of a colour, and I hit it. Didn't hit it square on, but I hit it with the bull bar on the van, and I pulled up because it was a hell of a thud, and nothing on the laying on the ground, no nothing, and yet there's a big dint in the bar. There's no blood, no nothing.
No hair, no nothing on it, no. Just a big dent.
Just a massive dent, like would have probably been about that big.
Was this thing running on two legs or what? Four? Or
Four.
what?
It was more of a dog kind of creature, yeah. There have been reports of the actual dog man out here too.
Okay.
One of my current workmates, he actually sighted one not that long ago, actually, crossing the road in front of him. He turned, look away, and then he's looked back as he's on the about an hour and a half away, 45 minutes, depending on his travel time. And he comes into work every morning, drives in early. And it was probably 4 a.m., maybe 4:30 in the morning when he seen it. But yeah, that one would have been more like a dog, yeah. It didn't have long hair. I don't know, it just was that quick. It was just like a flash, was gone. But then there was another one, literally not far from that siding. There's a feedlot, what we call a feedlot over here, for cattle and that. And I'd just gone past there on the same route. And this night I had the dash cam in the truck running. And I come along the spot in the road, and I'm driving, and I could see this thing come out on the road and didn't go across the road, only went into my lane and then decided, no, I didn't want to go back off the road. And it was a silvery colour, and probably would have been about 3, maybe 4 foot to its shoulder, back on all fours, and it turned and walked off the road. And I was travelling at about 100 k's an hour, and when I got past the spot on the road where I looked off to see it, and there was nothing, not a thing. The dash cam, I hit the button to save that 3-minute window so I could review it. And within about an hour and a half later, I got back to Dubbo, back to the yard, and I'd finished up. And I'm sitting there going through the dash cam, the 3-minute footage. And this thing did not appear on the dash cam.
Just nothing there.
Not a thing. It goes back for the 3 minutes. I was watching where I come around the bend, and then it's about a 200-metre straight stretch of road. And the camera's looking straight down the road, and this does not appear.
Wow.
When you saw this thing, did it look like a wolf? Do you guys have wolves over there? So I'm sure you do.
No, we don't have wolves here.
No? So you don't know what it was. It didn't look like anything that you've seen before.
Well, yeah, the biggest thing you'd have there is a dingo. Was it bigger than that?
Yes.
Well, yeah, what, 3 feet? You said 3.5 feet at the shoulder, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
pretty good size
big.
for a four-legged creature.
Yeah,
wow, dog man.
Dingo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's no dingo in this area. That's more up around the Territory Way.
Oh, okay.
But around this area, yeah, I know there is some people here in Dubbo that do have a dingo as a pet, but they've got to hold a special license and things, from what I've heard, to do it. But I've never seen anything like that ever until I could not explain that it's just happened so quick. It's just on the road, and then it's not on one go, and it's gone back the other way.
And nothing on the dash cam at all.
Nothing at all.
Wow.
It's just like it was never appeared at all.
Strange things happening everywhere.
That's awesome.
It's true. Yeah.
Is Yowie the most famous cryptid in Australia?
Yes. There's apparently the bunyip.
The bunyip?
Everyone over here. Yeah.
What is that?
And more of not even I can really explain it. It's more of a more mythical creature than anything, I think, more than anything. I've never even heard of anyone encountering it. But yeah. It's more something that...
Wow, that's a
is
weird looking thing.
water. Yeah, basically. It hangs around bodies of water.
Oh, are you looking it up, Brian?
Yeah, it's a swamp. It's a swamp thing.
Yeah.
It's a weird looking... Yeah.
Yep.
That's
I'll have to check it out. The bunyip, is that what it is?
I could see that. I could see that being a thing, but man, that would be wild to encounter one of those.
I've heard some people have seen what they think is that. I don't know whether it's right or not. There's been stories over here.
I think I'd rather see a Yowie.
I know there was a Yowie encounter here last year, literally not far from here. You go on one of the routes I take with my new job through Gnu State Forest. She had her encounter with her daughter in the afternoon. I think it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. And it ran out the tree line in broad daylight at the car. It actually was in the newspaper here.
What do people in Australia, what's their consensus? Like in America, you know, there's not, I would say the majority of people do not believe in Bigfoot. Most people think you're crazy if you talk about it or whatever. What's it like over there in Australia with the Yowie? Do people feel the same way? Are they more inclined to believe in it? Do they totally think it's hogwash or what?
Well, a lot of people do think we're those who have seen it, basically full of shit. But there's a lot of us here do believe in them, and there is accounts as they go back to the Aboriginals. They've done cave drawings on the way they do them, their paintings. They've actually decided them. They've recognised them that far back, so they have been around. There's been information they've located of them, but a lot of people, there's a lot out here that do believe in them. Yes. But there are those that say no.
I would imagine it's just like anywhere. I mean, there's some people that believe and some people that don't want to believe. You know, it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, and Australia is about the same size as the United States, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And we have sightings all over the United States as well, for the most part, except for like the exact middle where it's more desert area and stuff. But
there's stuff there too.
Yeah, there is. They see other things there, I guess. Do you guys have any UFO activity out there?
There's been some things. I know we have what they call min lights here, like mysterious orb, like a ball of light and whatnot. Mm-hmm. My cousin Rick, he's seen them. I've never seen the min light myself. I've seen what I think may have been that. I don't know. But yes, there's had UFO activity here. I was down with my family in Sydney, and while I went outside,
ancient aliens. They talked about that.
Yeah, and I'd seen something in the sky. The lights you could see didn't have a regular flashing like on a plane. Well, they got the lights on the end of the wings. This one didn't have that, and it's just sitting there. You couldn't get an outline of what it was, and it was a fair distance off. You could see it, and then all of a sudden it's just like a flash gone. And it's probably covered, I don't know, where we were, and you can see the glow from Sydney itself where we are, from the lights at night. And within, I think we're probably 60 odd Ks away from the city, where my family is down there. And within a blink of an eye, you would have been over the city of Sydney that quick.
Yeah, I've been fascinated with Australia for some time because of stuff like that, the Yowie and the UFO sightings and stuff. There's a mountain down there where they say it's supposedly a base. I don't remember the name of the mountain. I don't know if you know it right offhand, but
no, I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah,
there's been many different things around here. Apparently they've even got one. I think the one I think you're speaking of is somewhere down in the southern area of Australia. I think that's where it may be.
I think that's where it was.
Yeah, I know they reckon there's this part here in Australia they have our own Skinwalker Ranch, apparently. So I've heard. Whether there's you treat that one, I don't know, but I have heard of that.
Yeah, the only mountain or rock I know is it Ayers Rock? Is that how you pronounce it? Ayers Rock? The big smooth red rock?
Yeah, it's Uluru.
Okay.
Or Ayers Rock. They're both the same thing. It's a different name.
Yeah, that's a strange mound. It's huge. Doesn't look like it just kind of happened on its own. so to speak, maybe?
Right.
Yeah, it's and I know they used to be able to climb up it. Like you don't have a tour and you can go ladders and you can climb up on the top. And now they've banned all that. No one's allowed to go anywhere near it.
Interesting.
Sacred.
Yeah, people won't go near it. They said so.
People won't or not allowed to go near it.
Not allowed to, so they say.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's Australia is one of the places on my list to go.
I know a friend of mine. He's on Facebook actually. He's been looking for the Yowie. He goes out with his own group of fellas up around Brisbane way to look for him. And apparently he was out and he got bowled over by one, literally.
Wow.
A freight train coming at him and he didn't see him. He just in darkness and hit him so hard it put him in hospital overnight.
Jesus.
When did this
Guess he's
happen?
probably lucky that's all that happened.
Probably 18 months ago now, I suppose.
He didn't see it. He just got
He
slammed.
didn't see it.
By it.
Got no warning, just or a freight train going past and hit him.
You guys have a lot of bears up in Australia?
You know,
No bears at
the
all.
only thing we got, just a koala bear. That's all we got.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think they're chasing people.
The other thing we have is the kangaroo here, the koala bear. We've had sightings of a black panther, a large cat-like here. Yes, there's
Wow.
one here not down around the Blue Mountains. Apparently,
Cool.
there's been
That'd
rips
be something
even.
to find down there.
Yeah, it's been apparently everywhere. They've had it down South Australia. Rick actually sent one through to me the other day about it.
So there's really nothing down there that people can confuse with the Yowie.
No,
Like up here, we have in the Pacific Northwest, we have grizzly bears. People always say, you just saw a bear.
yeah,
Yeah, or black
Yeah,
bear.
There's nothing down in Australia that can be confused for those things. So,
one the other day, a fellow posted a friend sent it to me on Facebook, a photo or a video actually of a kangaroo. Now this kangaroo wouldn't be any part of probably 6 foot tall, and it's hanging up in a tree. At
kangaroo.
least 6 foot off. A kangaroo hanging upside down in the tree.
Something killed it and put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 foot tall kangaroo? That's a big kangaroo.
You get them that high, yeah.
Something's coming to get, something's hanging up its dinner, coming to get it later.
Yeah, and when someone actually, I think I've got it, I'll see if I can send you the photo through, Todd. One fellow actually put in there that it's, if you zoom in, it looks like something in the shadow behind it. Something sitting there. When the mate's taken the video, he didn't realise.
Had it been
let's see that.
Had it been chewed on, eaten on, or anything? Or was it just
It
fresh
looked
kill?
like it, but the only thing one side of it. Mate wasn't going to go anywhere near it.
Yeah, the only thing that does that is a mountain lion or a black panther, so to speak.
That'd have to be an awfully big cat to haul a 6 foot. Kangaroos are big.
Kangaroos are quite dangerous too. They'll kill most people if you give them enough chance.
Yeah, I've seen some videos. They're not friendly at all.
Yeah,
The one where the guy punches the one in the face. He's got his dog in a headlock.
Because he's getting his dog.
That one's a classic one.
Yeah, no. That fellow was actually not doesn't. Well, he was at the time. He's passed away now, but he didn't live far from here. But yeah, the kangaroos, given half a chance, it will kill a dog. If a dog, that's why when they go, fellas out here go hunting, and they put a breastplate on their dog for that reason. In that area,
Wow.
against pigs and for the roo, because when the roo rears back on its tail, the two main claws on it, one the centre claw on its foot, it'll gut a dog. I've seen them do that on their dog.
Wow.
Do you guys have deer in Australia?
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking maybe Yowies just don't eat kangaroos. They probably do, I'm guessing.
A lot of deer on one of the routes we used to take. You'd always see them either dead on the side of the road or they'd go across the road, run across. Where the farm was, I don't know, or whether they were wild, I don't know. But I did hear there was a farm close by on that route.
So do you think you'd ever want to see another Yowie, Wade?
I've actually, I've been up to, if I encountered one again like that close again, yeah, I'd be up to it. I've seen what I think is one fall on the edge of the road as I've gone past with the lights on in the truck. You could just illuminate the outline of something standing on against a tree. I wasn't 100% sure. It could have possibly been. It was quite large. It would have been 7.5 feet, probably, if not more.
Wow.
And it was a dart against the tree. The colour didn't match because the tree was barky. It was more of a greyish sort of brown. This was a straight up bloody brown colour, and it just didn't match the area.
So what do you say to people when they say that they don't believe in Yowies?
For me, both me and Rick, we both have the same outlook on it. People say, oh, they don't believe in them, and we just tell them, well, each to their own. If that's what they want to go, that's their line, fair enough. But for us here, the way we look at it here, the Yowie will reveal themselves to you when they're good and ready. When they believe you're ready to see them. Some people just experience it out of the blue. When I did, it was just, I wasn't expecting it, and it happened. So whether it's something that mentality that they wait for the person to do it, I don't know. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. If they're going to reveal themselves, they'll reveal them only to people. Whether they deem them ready, I don't know. But, yeah.
That's probably about how the Bigfoot are up here too. I think. And if you're lucky enough to see one, they want you to see them.
Yeah. That's pretty much the way my cousin is. He's had his encounters were more of mind speak. Was the term they used. He's had them in his mind. He's felt them nearby. He's smelt them, but he's never seen them.
That's cool.
And he was working on a property about an hour away. I think it is an hour and a half from here. When in broad daylight too. And there was like a tree line behind him. He could sense something was there watching him, and then all of a sudden he got this, something was talking to him in his mind, so to speak.
Yeah, I've heard of that lately too. These things mind speaking to people, saying things to them in their minds. It's so weird.
Yeah, Rick actually showed me a photo. Whether he's still got it, I don't know. This is not long ago too, after the incident where he'd seen the vision almost identical to the one I had with the fallen tree. He said to me he woke up in the middle of the night, felt like he was being choked, but it was like a hairy arm around his neck. And he actually showed the mark. He had a big red mark around.
I can imagine a lot of weird stuff goes on in Australia anyway. For whatever reason, I feel like that with the vastness that is there in your country, who knows what's out there roaming around.
Yeah, there's been fellas on there. There's a Gary Lynn, who's a friend of mine on Facebook there. He goes out looking for them. He's actually got the thermal image of what seems to be two very large Yowies up around the Brisbane way or somewhere it was. That's the one thing I went and I'll go and I'll have a little thermal image unit, so if I'm out camping somewhere, I can take it with me.
Was that on YouTube? Did he put that on YouTube?
It probably was, yes.
Because I think I saw a video of somebody with the thermal for Yowies.
Yeah.
What? You're not sharing that with me, man? Come on.
I just remembered that when he said that. I was like, I saw that video.
You actually probably told me about it, and I forgot.
Then he goes back on, and he shows you the height. roughly how high this thing was in height.
Well, that's awesome stuff, man. We appreciate you coming on and telling us and taking the time over there in your country of Australia.
One of these days, I'm going to get down there. I'll look you up.
Yep, no worries. Thank you for the time.
All right, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
You have a good one, and you get out there and find those Yowies, man.
I'll definitely be looking, that's for sure. If I see anything else, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please
Yeah, keep
do.
us posted.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you got any pictures or anything, jump on our Facebook group page, Cryptid Creatures, and
Yep.
we'll look for you in there. I'll invite you in, and you can put some stuff on there for us if you'd like. So.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
No worries.
All right, man. Well, you take care and have a good one then.
All right, Wade, we appreciate it. Thanks.
No worries. Thank you.
You know what doesn't really sound like the Yowie's much different than the American Bigfoot? I think they're all pretty much the same in some way or the other, just like people are around the world. We all generally look the same.
Exactly. He probably just has an Australian accent.
Does he whoop when else? How would you whoop?
Whoops.
How do you do a whoop in an Australian accent?
I'm not that good at the accent
You did
to
pretty
try
good.
And pretend that one, but
You did pretty good with the Yowie. Do that again. How does that go?
whoop, Mike. I don't know. Please don't take offense to my
Oh, that's
poor Australian
hilarious.
accent. I apologize.
I would have been a little scared had that thing started walking toward me like he was saying it was when he was driving.
Yeah, he said it was walking right down the middle of the damn road.
That's just crazy. What's that thing doing? I'm gonna check you out and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have been in reverse trying to get the hell out of there.
I wasn't afraid of him. But yeah, I'm glad we got Wade on, and I'm glad we got a Yowie encounter finally.
Me too, and that definitely has stoked my curiosity more for Australia now.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into some more things down
So
there.
yeah, we're gonna have to try and get a hold of some more people down there and see what's going on.
So if you're from Australia and you've had an encounter of something, anything, get a hold of us. Check us out on our website, www.cryptidcreatures.net.
Instagram at cryptid_creatures.
On Facebook, we have a Facebook group.
Twitter, everywhere. We're everywhere.
Right. You can go on our webpage and submit a story right there, and it'll come right to our email. Or you can email us direct, info@cryptidcreatures.co.
For sure.
Brian, thanks for being here with me again, my friend.
Always fun, man. Always.
Listeners, thanks for being here, and thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
We'll get out of here, brother. Until next time.